Let me apologize for a small break in transmission from the previous stream. We are continuing on a new stream, ladies and gentlemen. We still have G Star and Preacher with us. Um, just a little bit of technical difficulty. Um, Prematurely ended that stream, so we'll actually have two streams up for this show. All right. G Star, we're waiting on Preacher to come back to the stream, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
man.
All right. Very, very interesting debate and very interesting discourse regarding the finals. There's not much of a discourse because I think we have general consensus and agreement with regards to how we see things going. Good to have the participation from the persons in the stream, giving their opinions. But as I said, for me, I think it's a wrap for this finals.
Here's a big question that's been going around, and it's been much debated.
Mhm.
And Pioneer, remember you guys were on the stream a good little while ago, and you guys weren't so hot on Boston, and I was saying, boy, I think Boston really them are really really big side, right? And I was asked why do I think that they're gonna reach far, and I said, boy, I believe that they have that one superstar, which
Mhm.
if you're gonna win an NBA Finals outside of the Detroit Pistons in 2004, usually you need a superstar, right? So people are really asking right now,
Welcome forward.
is Jason Tatum?
Welcome forward, preacher. I don't know if you're mute. Are you muted somehow? Are you muted? All right. So welcome forward. Just a little disruption to the stream. Welcome back to everyone who's back in the stream. We apologize for the temporary break. It's just a technical difficulty. Something beyond our control. It's good to have you back with us. G Star was saying something about the Boston Celtics. Go ahead, G Star.
Yeah, basically, it's been much, deliberated right now. Is Jason Tatum a superstar? Is Jason Tatum that guy? And I'll let you all to answer it first.
All right. For me, and I
You
said it
believe
last.
he's a superstar?
All right. I remember in our previous discussions, G Star, when we were talking about the Boston Celtics. My first, and this was when they were kind of struggling. Somewhere in December, was it like late November, early December? Was it late December going into January? And we were saying that it was possibly time to break up the combination of Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. We spoke of them needing that glue piece. All right, and for me, we weren't looking at it at the time, but I think that glue piece that they got was a coach. We were speaking of, I remember I personally saying they needed a piece like a Draymond Green who could do the link up play between both. But I think Coach Udoka has kind of found a way to bridge that gap that existed between both players. And it was evident by their play and them being in the finals. I think it started on the defensive end. We saw, you know, better team defending, but even on the offensive end, we saw better link up play. As to whether Tatum is a superstar, I think he's still, for me, one of the biggest attributes of a superstar is his mental fortitude. I think a superstar is, I think this your superstar dumb, for want of a better word, starts in your mind. I think when you see yourself as that guy, then it comes out. There is a certain aura, there's a certain amount of confidence that is generated from that. I think Jason Tatum, right now at this point in his career, is a little lacking in that department. I've heard it in his interviews. When persons were questioned whether he was a superstar, he came out and he was saying, "Did I put out that narrative?" As if to suggest that he wasn't willingly accepting the mantra that was being put on him to say, "Listen, you're a superstar." And I think for me that spoke volume. So does he has the capability to be a superstar? He does. He has the attributes. He has displayed it. I think he has the requisite talent, but is he a superstar in his mind? I think that is where he's lacking. I think he he has fallen short in displaying. Last night, how do you go to the line
I think he was being humble right now. I think he was being humble when he did.
in a critical game 5 though, G-Star? Yarawa, 80-something% shooter from the free throw line. How do you go to the line and in a critical game, you're trying to make a comeback in a fourth quarter and miss 2 critical free throws? The amount of turnovers last
Big.
night, and unraveling last night.
I think we're being a bit harsh, though. Listen.
But listen to us, preacher. We are talking about a
That's why
super.
No, and I still think we're being harsh because we are talking.
I'm going to yield the floor to you, preacher. Go ahead.
I've watched basketball long enough. I remember Kobe Bryant in Game 7 against Boston in his last championship. Kobe had a horrible game.
But that was after the hold on, right?
Hold on, but Kobe was a superstar.
Yeah, but that was after Kobe was Kobe. Kobe had
but that's even worse. That's even worse. So Kobe was Kobe and missed 2 free throws down the stretch. I mean, Kobe was bricking it up. Ron Artest came to his rescue.
He would have earned that, preacher. But I'm saying
we need to be careful. What we're saying is Jason Tatum a superstar?
Now give me 1 second. We are trying to establish the verdict has been put to the jury as to whether this man is a superstar. Yeah. I mean, now here is your moment. The verdict is out. Here is your moment. Here is your time to know.
But making those 2 free throws would not change the narrative and would not make the question any less relevant. I'm just saying.
Preacher, it takes a little bit away from you as to listen. The lights are bright. The moment is big, and he has. When Kobe would have missed those free throw, preacher, he would have earned enough cachet for us to give him leeway on that. As I said, verdict is the jury is now deliberating, preacher, as to whether Jason Tatum is indeed a superstar. It has been a topic of discussion for the past 2.5, 3 years in the NBA.
I think the bigger point that I'm trying to make is superstars can have bad games.
True.
And if Jason Tatum is going to be measured by a bad game here or a bad game there, then we're not being fair to him. Do I believe that Jason Tatum is a superstar by how we have generally defined superstars in the NBA? No. I think Jason Tatum is on the verge. I think this season, especially back end of the season, coming into the postseason, he has shown that he has everything. The raw material, all the ingredients that you need to get to that level. The final product is going to be him perhaps winning a championship or him balling out in this series. Probably ball out in game 6, probably ball out in game 7. The narrative changes because you know how it goes. The narrative swings with each game. But I don't necessarily think he is a superstar by our definition of superstar. The superstars we're talking about Giannis right now. We're talking about Steph right now. LeBron, we're talking about those kind of people who are in an elite group because they have performed consistently well at the highest level. Tatum has been in 3 conference finals, but we can't remember anything in those conference finals that set him apart. He was good, but there wasn't any signature. He never left his signature on any of those conference finals. He's now in the finals for the first time. So he has some way to go. I was going to make a point before we got cut off earlier about Boston. One of the things about sports, especially in the NBA, whenever a team moves away from what they normally do to do something to react to what another team has done, it tells you that they're unraveling. Boston was playing defense on Steph, and they were like, listen, Steph can get his, but nobody else will get theirs. Right? We're not going to double Steph. We're not, in some cases, we're going to even go under the screen. And if Steph scores 40, nobody else is going to beat us. In game 5, they moved away from that. They were face guarding Steph. They were denying Steph the ball. They in some cases
open lanes for other players.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. They moved away from what they were fundamentally committed to, and they opened up space for other people, which is why I say the danger for them is that other people have found their own rhythm. And maybe it is in part because of Boston's ship. 43 points. That 43 points got to Boston.
I think so.
In their minds, they were like, no, hell no. Steph is not gonna get another 40 or 43 points on us. We're gonna do everything to stop it.
Let the others beat us. Forgetting the quality, the overall quality of the Golden State team.
Thank you very much. So listen, when it comes and G Star made a point about coaching. Udoka is a good coach and Kerr are good coaches. But you know, when I look at Phil and I look at Pop, who are the mecca of coaches in the NBA in the modern era, they don't move away from what they do. They're gonna do what they do and they're gonna do it very well. The triangle offense is not gonna change for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
The triangle offense is gonna be the triangle offense, and you're gonna have to adjust to us. We're not gonna adjust to you. And the moment Boston decided to adjust to Golden State because Steph's 43, it just opened the floodgates for others to start to look like how they looked in Game 5. And that's going to be a problem.
Gentlemen, we have not said much about Andrew Wiggins' performance last night. And I would be remiss if we didn't discuss Wiggins. And in looking at his performance last night, we're going to look at his overall performances for the finals. But we all know the story of Andrew Wiggins, but for those who are not aware and for those who might be watching the stream at a later date, Andrew Wiggins was a number 1 draft pick, was drafted to the Cleveland Cavaliers, highly touted prospect for the NBA. He went to Cleveland to join Kyrie Irving, and at the time, what was a decent young Cleveland cast, LeBron James decided he was going to leave the Miami Heat, went back to Cleveland. The team obviously would now wanted to build around and play around LeBron. LeBron thought it best that he wanted shooters around him, so Wiggins was traded to Minnesota for Kevin Love. I didn't hear. Go again, G-Star.
No, I said that, which was madness at the time. Which was madness. Keep going.
G-Star, your opinions on that is noted, my brethren. You have stated it elsewhere, and you have stated it categorically. And some people still trying to hold you to some comments you made back then. But Wiggins was traded to Minnesota. Played with Karl Anthony Towns for a while. At one point, Jimmy Butler was there with them. But for a lot of people, he was underwhelming in Minnesota. There was a great burden of expectation that was placed on him while he was in Minnesota. Being a number 1 draft pick, persons were saying he was underperforming. There were some people who went as far as to think that he was a bust. So we fast forward now to 2019, Kevin Durant getting injured, wanting to leave Golden State, entered into a sign and trade with the Brooklyn Nets, which resulted in DeAndre Russell coming to Golden State. The Warriors acquiring DeAndre Russell, using him in the 2020 season, then decided to trade him to Minnesota for Andrew Wiggins. Now Andrew Wiggins is at the Golden State Warriors. First season, 2020-21 season, thereabout. A lot of persons still didn't give him a lot of kudos, a lot of credit. Some persons started he was only a good trade piece to be packaged, traded off for somebody bigger. But here we are, gentlemen. We are in the 2022 NBA Finals. Andrew Wiggins this year became an All-Star for the first time in his career. A lot of persons start his All-Star selection. He was actually an All-Star starter. A lot of persons start his All-Star selection was as a result of some deal made with some pop star, albeit he was an All-Star this year. Played very good at the beginning of the season. Fell off a little bit after the All-Star break. A lot of persons were saying, see, he reverted to his old self. But in these playoffs, gentlemen, and in particular in these finals, Andrew Wiggins have come up big and has come up trumps for the Golden State Warriors. 26 points, 13 rebounds last night. 2 assists. Was it 2 or 4 assists? But big down the stretch last night. Took over the game in the fourth quarter. G-Star, as one of the biggest Andrew Wiggins fans, and as the man with who is the
The
resident
biggest.
Canadian citizen on the panel, I'll give you a first shot. Give me your views of Wiggins in the playoff at first, but in these finals.
I think Wiggins is playing good basketball. I don't think he's playing great. For those who don't know Andrew Wiggins, they'll tell you that like somebody literally called me at like 7 o'clock this morning and he's telling me, yo, or 7:30, whatever, Andrew Wiggins, going off about Andrew Wiggins, saying that he's playing spectacular. And for me, he's playing good. He's not playing great. Reason why I say he's still not playing great is because he was over 6 from 3-point line last night. And I think the game before he was like 2 of 7 or 2 of 6. So he's really not hitting his three ball. But what Andrew Wiggins is starting to realize is that he's pretty much the most athletic player on the floor. And he's also realizing that, you know what? He's probably better than Jalen Brown,
There we
right?
go.
He's actually realizing that because people will say Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, but you see when you look at when he's grabbing the rebounds, nobody's getting up with him. When he's jumping for those rebounds, he's on that highest elevator. You see what I'm saying? So he's getting that in his mind.
Stick up in G-Star. I just
Yeah,
want to, interestingly, I sat
yeah, man.
in the pre-finals analysis. I don't remember which one of these American programs. There was a panel that was discussing the prospects for the finals, and the person was saying, while they can acknowledge that Golden State will have the best player in the series, Boston Celtics will have the next 4 best players, and they actually named Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart. Persons were iffy about what Clay offered, and they said Al Harford,
Al Horford.
and they wanted to put Clay at 6, but no little or no
That was
mention,
Nick Wright. That was Nick Wright.
little or no mention was made of Andrew Wiggins, and I found that to be so disrespectful to Wiggins for what I know he can do and what he has been doing in these playoffs so far. Go ahead, G-Star. Continue your point that you're making.
Yeah, you can't really listen to Nick Wright. Nick Wright is entertaining, but he's very emotional, right? That's why a certain person at KLAS respects him to the fullest because they're actually very similar. Um, so for Andrew Wiggins, I've seen the growth in Andrew Wiggins because for me, Andrew Wiggins is almost like a rookie playing ball right now, Gold State got him about 2 years ago, and Draymond said it last night. When he came that very first year, he started to play. Last year he played better, and then this year he's even playing better. He's understanding the Golden State system and how does it translate into the NBA Finals. Everybody's saying he's been their second best player, which he has been, right? He's supporting Steph because when Clay can't get a shot off, when Steph can't get a shot off, they can give the ball to Wiggins. Wiggins can score one-on-one, right? Wiggins can basically do everything on the floor now. So what I'm loving from Wiggins is that next year in Golden State, Wiggins is even going to be better. So Golden State Warriors is even going to be more scarier next season. So what people think of Golden State, they don't realize what's coming down the pike. They don't realize that James Wiseman is coming back next year. They don't realize that Moses Moody is going to get better next year. And they don't realize that Jonathan Kuminga is going to make a serious jump. The only question mark next year in the Golden State Warriors is going to be Jordan Poole. Is Jordan Poole going to want to be a backup point guard? Or is he going to want to be like Reggie Jackson from the OKC Thunder and he's going to want to go this?
He has at least 1 more year left in Golden State. That I know I'm listening to you, G-Star.
Now is the best time to trade him. Now is the
Whilst
best time to trade him, Pioneer.
I don't want to stray too much from the point. That
Yeah.
kind of, and I'm gonna segue from where we are to discussing the finals MVP. But I just sat and listened to you a while ago talking about the youngsters, and I'm envisioning a lineup with those youngsters. in it. Let's put it. I'd use Moses Moody to play the point, and use Jordan Poole at the two. All right, so
No, reverse it. Moses Moody at the 2, Jordan Poole at the point.
whichever you want, but two of them as guards. All right, Wiggins
Yeah.
as the 3, Kamingo as the 4, and Wiseman playing center. That's a formidable young lineup for Golden State. And remember that Stephen
Pioneer,
is not
Pioneer, I want you to
yet
understand this.
complete.
I want you to
That is
understand this.
scary for the league, Preacher. That's very scary for the league.
You see, Pioneer, I want you to understand this. You see the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant. All right, take that team out of there. Just put that team to the side, right? This is the most talented team that I have seen with my 2 eyes since OKC, and I think they're even more talented with more than OKC. Why? Because they still have Steph, they still have Draymond, and they still have Clay. So we've never seen this kind of mix with superstar core players with superstar young players on the rise, or star young players on the rise. And then now they have Andrew Wiggins in the middle of his prime. Golden State is going to get dark for a lot of teams next year. Believe me, I think only the Clippers. I think next year, maybe Milwaukee with Middleton. I think those are the only 2 teams, talent-wise, that will be able to compete with the Warriors.
All right,
But getting back to Wiggins, though,
Yeah.
I just want Wiggins moving forward in Game 6 and Game 7 to hit his 3 ball. Once Wiggins hits his 3 ball, I think it's over for the Celtics.
All right, Preacher, let me give you.
I'll be quick because G-Star covered a lot of ground.
By the way,
we-
one step in, Preacher. I want to welcome Fabian Full to the stream. Fabian Full is saying that I think he's talking about Jordan Poole, and he said he has 1 more year, and then he says Steph is still the finals MVP. He's averaging 30 points in the finals. He's actually, after last night, 16 points, he's actually averaging 31 in the finals. So we're going to discuss that in a little while, Fabian. Go ahead, Preacher.
Yeah, just on Wiggins quickly. I don't really follow plus minus much because I think it sometimes is misleading. But he leads the entire series on both sides in plus minus, right? He's playing the most minutes on Golden State. He's their leading rebounder, second leading scorer. So he has come to the party. The thing about it is, and I think G-Star touched on it, Wiggins is actually the most athletic Golden State Warrior. I mean, taking out Kuminga and the other youngsters because they're not playing. But he has the ability to create his own shot off the dribble. And I noticed, I saw something last night which was very interesting. Whenever he jumps, where he lands, where he ends up, he can jump from one side of the court going up to make a layup and end up all the way over on the other side of the court because of his athleticism. Now, that's the one thing that Golden State did not have previously. So that trade that brought Wiggins to Golden State worked out perfectly for them, because this athleticism with the shooting that they have with Steph Clay, with the physicality and the force that Draymond brings, is just a perfect. So he's in a perfect space. He doesn't have to be the number one player right now, right? He doesn't have to be the second best player right now. I mean, he doesn't have to be. He has emerged as that, and that's what he needed, that pressure to be taken off his back so that he could become himself with time. Now, in terms of the series, I'm more impressed with Wiggins as a defender, actually, than as a scorer, because what he has done defensively, when he has had to guard Tatum, when he has had to guard Jaylen Brown, that has helped to make Golden State's team defense a lot better and easier. And I made the point when you were off earlier, G-Star, that both Tatum and Jaylen Brown are effective when they're going to their right. I've seen Wiggins starting to take away their right hand. Totally. Take away their right hand.
That's why
force them into strength of defense. force them to their left and into the strength of your defense. And those are the little things that people don't see when they watch the game. And those things don't turn up in the box score, really. But those are the things I'm seeing that I'm like, wow, this Wiggins kid, yo, I'm really playing good basketball defensively. And surprisingly, with Wiggins, you find that he is actually much more physical than you thought he was. Much more physical than he thought he was.
There's something Preacher, when because people normally have that kind of, as a matter of fact, you said he's the most athletic Golden State Warrior. I might go out on a limb and say he's probably the most athletic player in the series. It's gonna be 1 and 2 between him and Jaylen Brown because for me he's more athletic than Tatum for sure.
Right.
He's more athletic than Jaylen Brown.
But he has this, I think it's passive personality.
Yeah.
His physical ability enables him to jump out of the gym, but his personality is subdued and passive. So you don't get that from him. But I think it comes back again, Preacher, to something similar I was saying about the confidence of a superstar. You get that feeling about Wiggins too. For me, he has superstar potential. He has very little that is lacking in his game. The weakest part of his game is his three-point shot. But then he has the capability to knock down that three-point shot at a decent enough clip. He can beat you off the dribble. He can jump out of the gym, as we said, and he can be a lockdown defender for probably 4 positions. Probably the only position he can guard is maybe a center, a big man. All right, he's a very good rebounder, and he's a decent enough playmaker. So he again, along like a Jason Tatum, has that capability to manifest his talent to make himself into a superstar in this league. But his passive personality, and I'm hoping that being around Stephen, Draymond, and Klay Thompson.
Yeah, but Pioneer, maybe the Golden State Warriors environment is a passive superstar environment because Steph doesn't carry himself with any, hype and swag. Klay doesn't carry himself with any.
There's swag, There's not overly hype, but there's a swag, and even Klay, who is passive, also has that swagger, that confidence. Because there's a difference between
it's really confident
and confident, Preach. A lot of people mistake hype and confidence. The Golden State Warriors team has that confidence. You get it from Draymond for sure, even though Draymond is a little more vocal and has a little more braggadocio about him than Klay and Steph. But even within Steph's somewhat quiet personality, there is a confidence and there's a swag and a confidence that said, listen, I am Steph Curry and I am this good. And even Klay, who is a little bit
unless you're confident.
You get that from that. So I'm hoping that confidence, not the hype, Preacher, that confidence that is within that Golden State organization will rub off on Wiggins, and we'll see that
fair point
coming up, and it will bring out that confidence in him. And I think last night's game is probably a good, what's the word I'm searching? Just that next step.
Confidence boost.
That boost, that confidence boost for him to take that next step. And it is with all of these things in mind, gentlemen, that I think that this series is over. But let us look at finals MVP. Steph is obviously leader. 32, 29 in 3 quarters, 31, 43 points. Poetry game last night, 16 points, but still averaging 31 points in the series. Obviously, the leader and forerunner welcome Virgin World Tracy Maverick to the stream. Good to have you, Virgin.
Yes,
welcome to some high IQ basketball using Maverick. Good to have you here, my Virgin. And we share the media space. By the way, people, for who don't know, World Tracy Maverick has one of the best YouTube channels going, wide-ranging of discussions. If you're not subscribe and be sure to check it out, So Steph is the obvious leader, forerunner in the MVP conversation. But Wiggins has been playing good and steady, consistent basketball. Could we see anybody overtaking Steph for the finals MVP? We'll look at all the prospects, whether Golden State were to go on and winning 6 whether Golden State were to go on and win in 7, whether Boston Celtics were to come back and win the series, winning the next 2 games. What are the permutations for finals MVP from here on in, looking at all the possible scenarios?
Let's take the least likely outcome. Boston winning in 7. If Boston wins in 7, Steph is not winning MVP. So we'd have to be having a discussion about Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum.
All right. So I'll stick up in right there, Preacher. So let me give you a possible scenario. Using that as you know, let me give you. So Steph drops 45 in game 6, but Golden State loses. He goes on to drop 50 in game 7, and Golden State loses in 7.
Mm-hmm.
There a chance he can still win final MVP, yes or no?
No, he's not, because somebody in Boston would have been scoring lights out too. Okay, somebody on the Boston team would have had to be playing at an elite level as well for Boston to overcome Steph dropping 50 and 45. Right? So that's the first point. The second point is
they lose the series. He's not winning finals MVP.
No, he's not going to win finals MVP.
So
now let's go to the most likely scenario. With Golden State winning, Steph is
in 6 or 7, whichever.
In 6 or 7, it doesn't matter, because Steph has carried this team on his back. We just spoke about Wiggins and how valuable Wiggins has been, and we can't deny that. But it is what Steph Curry does on the court, and it's Steph Curry's presence on the court that makes others like Wiggins have the ability to use their skill sets in the way they do. You take Steph Curry out of Golden State Warriors team lineup, I mean, it's not going to be the same. He is the MVP. He has been playing excellent basketball. Last night was an anomaly. Steph doesn't usually go off anything from 3-point land. And even when he was not scoring, he was creating. He had 8 assists in the game. And these are not assists on 3-point shots where he just passed the ball to a man and him score a 3. He was penetrating and dishing. So Steph Curry, I mean, those people who have been saying, oh, he needs an MVP on his resume, you know, in order to make him a top whatever player. Steph Curry has played this series with that chip on his shoulder. We can see that he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He's trying to make people know that, listen, I am the man. And so far, he has been the man. So he's the MVP.
I'm going to play devil's advocate again, Preacher. All right, some people don't like that reference of playing devil's advocate, but it's just a man speaking. So let's say the series goes to 7. All right, so we have 2 other games. Steph is not very good in game 6, but Andrew Wiggins, and we will all agree that he was the MVP or the man of the match, so to speak, in game 5. Andrew Wiggins has another big game, shoots well from 3, plays lockdown defense, and Jason Tatum. However, Steph and the rest of the Golden State cast comes up small in game 6, so we end up going to a game 7. Again, Wiggins has a major role, comes up good. What? Drops 40 maybe. Steph is subpar again. Is there any chance with that scenario that Wiggins could, leapfrog Steph for the finals MVP?
I'm gonna make G-Star chime in, but I'll say this: there's no way Steph Curry is gonna have 2 subpar games and Golden State Warriors wins the series. No way. It's not gonna happen.
All right.
So even that scenario that you're trying to paint, that scenario is one that's not gonna happen. Steph has to be good for you to win.
All right.
The next
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I know you are, but I'm playing Jesus right now. I'm trying to get you to get on the right side, because you cannot have a situation where Steph Curry plays 2 horrible games and you win the series. So G-Star can come in.
I'm a devil's advocate with Jesus associated.
Yeah, no way.
G-Star, give me your views. Finals MVP.
I'm right there with Preacher. But the only thing is, that scenario that you presented, though, I think the door is open. I don't think the door is closed for Wiggins to be the MVP. But it's like, I don't think it's ajar. It's just slightly. It's just slightly open. You see what I'm
It's a
saying?
crack.
The
It's a
only way
crack.
for Wiggins to win MVP, yeah, it's a crack. The only way for Wiggins to win MVP is for Wiggins to play very good in Game 6 and them lose, and Steph flop.
Mhm.
Steph would have to flop in Game
Uh,
6
uh,
and Game 7, and
poss- Possibly
Wiggins would have to have an excellent,
single digit points, maybe.
not even, but even like another 15, 16 point game. That's a flop game for
With
Steph, right?
with a poor, very poor shooting
Yeah,
percentage.
with poor shooting efficiency. Yeah.
Uh,
So Wiggins would have to score like a 30-point game and like another 28-point game because remember, Wiggins is going to get the credit defensively in this series because he's the one who's guarding their best player, right? So that is the only way I foresee Wiggins actually winning the MVP. It's a it's a very long shot, right? Um, no, if the Boston Celtics win, if they win Game 6, Game 7, Jason Tatum's going to be the MVP, no doubt about it. Because that would
Jason
mean that
Tatum
more than likely
and
he would have played, he would have played well in
Or
Game
Jalen
6
Brown.
and
Or
Game 7.
Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown could come up big in those 2 games. He could win.
Jalen.
He could win the MVP.
True, but we're just talking about what's more likely in
Michaels
this
now.
scenario, right? Jalen Brown went 5 of 19 last night, and
Poor.
honestly, I think the scouting report, I think Golden State scouting report is kind of getting the best of Jalen Brown right now. As you said, they're pushing Jalen Brown to his left. Maybe we have to thank Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson for that because on the broadcast you're saying, why do they always letting the Boston Celtics go to their right in the NBA, or if you're even playing street ball outside of the park, you have to let people go to their left hand. It's like you cannot let James Harden or Manu Ginobili go to their left. You have to push them to their off hand. So the scouting, the Warriors are doing a good job with their scouting report. So I think it's easier to stop Jalen Brown based on the scouting report than it is Jason Tatum. You can scout Jason Tatum, but I just think Jason Tatum has more in his back to offer than Jalen Brown. So I just think that Jason Tatum, if the Celtics are going to go on to win, he's going to have better games. And I don't think Steph is going to win the MVP if they lose the series. That would be a travesty, in my opinion. Right?
All
So,
right.
bottom line though, who do I think is going to win the MVP? I think it's going to be Steph Curry because Golden State will win in 6. And if they don't win in 6, they're going to go home and have the parade in San Francisco.
All right, gentlemen. As usual, it was good to have both of you gentlemen here discussing basketball. And people, for those who are on the stream now and for those who will watch later, for me, these are two of the preeminent voices in basketball. They are probably two of the only voices that I will listen to. You know, I say I'm probably take counsel from, or but these are two of the gentlemen who I rate highly in basketball discussions. Preacher, good for having my brethren.
Yeah,
G
man.
Star, good for having you. We'll try and do this again on Thursday before
Yep.
the game.
Yep.
We are in discussions right now. We'll be possibly having a watch party for those who are on the stream and for those who will
Wow.
watch later. We are thinking about having a watch party for Game 6. For me, I think that is gonna be the championship game. I think that is where Golden State will win it. So it's very good for us to have a watch party for that game. Mannins Man and I are setting it up for us to have a watch party on Thursday. What we would do in that case, we would have a show, probably a pre-game show, an hour and a half before, where we'll have on these gentlemen and others to give, just their analysis and their predictions as to how the game will go and how they see the rest of the series going. And, you know, culminate with, for me, the Golden State coronation and G Star. Yes, I'm expecting a parade in San Francisco this year, Bridging. My Golden State Warriors. We have had our hits and buts throughout the season. We have had our nervous moments, but everything is coming together. It has been, I must say, it has been a great NBA season. It has been a great NBA
Yes, sir.
finals today. It's very intriguing, very riveting, and I think I'll be suffering from NBA withdrawal when all of this is done, Bridging.
Hey,
Um,
Pioneer, I just
yes,
want to say one quick thing before we go.
go
And
ahead.
I said it in another platform that we share. The great ones, you name them: Jordan, Magic, Bird, all of them. a part of their greatness is beating the Celtics or the Lakers.
Interesting point.
Just put that on the sticky side of your brain.
Interesting point. I can add something to that, Um, I think we'll have this discussion on Thursday because it's kind of a greater discussion as to the Kevin Durant impact at Golden State, what it has meant, and his absence, and this whole argument about Golden State needed Kevin Durant to get over the Cavs and to continue winning. This Steph Curry and this Golden State team has dissected and is now up 3-2, and this historically, I would say historically great defensive Boston team. All right, they swept Kevin Durant. They shut down Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and swept them out of the first round. They were very effective against Giannis. They stopped, mind you, in 7 games. And mind you, we could have had a different result had that Jimmy Butler shot drop. But history is history. They stopped what I consider to be a very good Miami Heat team. And now we have Golden State and Steph Curry. Steph Curry and Golden State poised to take them out in 6. That will put an extra stripe on the shoulders of Steph Curry in this whole conversation about him being, whether he is or he is not top 10. But this will be a big tick for Steph Curry if they were to continue and get over this Boston Celtic team. So we'll have some of those discussions pre-game, game 6 on Thursday. It was good to have you gentlemen again. Thank you very much. It was good to have all the people that were in the previous stream. For those who don't know, this is actually a second stream. We had some technical issues which kind of prematurely ended the first stream. So this is like a follow-up stream. Be sure to check out both streams. Like, share, feel free to drop a comment. I am sure Sports, I continue to say, is one of the most authentic, one of the Jamaican, as you can see, the Jamaican flag in the background, a Jamaican podcast, Jamaican stream, giving Jamaican content. But even though we are here discussing the NBA, which is an American sport and an American league, but we discuss it at a level that is, in many cases, top shelf, and in some cases above what you get even in American media. Gentlemen, good to have you. Persons on the stream, good for you to have joined us. This has been Around the NBA, and I am sure Sports. I'm Pioneer. We'll see you soon.